trainer Scott Hassler began by offering an overview of conformation and how it relates to performance and breeding.
This is an 8-year-old mare. She strikes you, and I would be proud to have her, and I am very proud to have her. And first thing we see is the front end. She's got a nice long neck. When we look at conformation, we look at general guidelines at first without being too particular. The first thing I see from my first impression is the horse looks very intelligent. Also, she's handling the environment quite well right now. She's not nervous. She's not going after Michael and pushing on him and trying to get away. She's very calm. Her interior is coming out. She's handling this environment quite well. When we look at the conformation, I think she's got a very nice front end. A good saddle position, a nice neck. I think that for my taste, first impression again, a little bit long in the back. No question. I would like to see a little more croup, depth of croup. But in general, I think, an athlete. One of the largest weaknesses on this mare, in my opinion, is the correction of the front legs. They toe out a little bit on the left front. They're a little bit short, below the knee. It would be very, very silly of me not to breed this kind of quality because of those small weaknesses on the front legs. And if I get a common denominator and several offsprings out of this mare, then I would consider not breeding her if she produces serious faults on the front legs. I see already a horse who wants to move a little bit downhill at the start, not uphill. The walk has a nice rhythm. It comes from behind. The shoulder is relatively free. I would say it's average, the walk, slightly maybe above average, but certainly not exceptional. I like the engagement of the hind end. The hock is very, very impulsive. Coming under the horse, the first step moves forward. The tail is relaxed. Again, the horse gets a little bit hurried. When the horse gets hurried, she tends to lose the rhythm a little bit of the walk in nature, and she even dives a little bit more downhill. And trot. Good. And walk. Very good. Look at the engagement there. She really sat behind. That was very nice.
The next horse that Scott evaluates is a 3-year-old North American bred Oldenburg mare.
So our main objective here is to first quickly go through interior-exterior values, first impressions. What I see so far, again, is a relatively nice quality mare. She's 3 years old. Does she look as developed and as finished as the 8-year-old? No. I see, from the first mare, on the top line of the croup, I like it very much. Much more deep, good tail set than the first mare. I see another powerful hock, powerful hind end. That's my first impression. I see a big shoulder. I see a horse who's going to grow. Overall, in the conformation with the horse, I see a nice shoulder. I see a pretty good, powerful trot coming through the body. I like the walk. Does it have the biggest overstep? No, it doesn't. But it's a fabulous rhythm. This rhythm is much more solid than the first mare. This is not a tricky walk. The rhythm is constant all the time. It doesn't start to pace, get quick, fall on the forehand. It's very constant. We don't always need the biggest walk. She gets a little bit close at the hock. They come more together, so you have a wide hip. She comes into the hock, and she goes back out to her fetlock area. Okay? Wide at the hip. She comes into the hock. She goes back out to the fetlock area. Is it a reason not to breed her or believe in her? Absolutely not. I think she's really going to get impressive in the front end when she grows. She has a big shoulder, and her neck looks like a baby still a little bit. She's still, when you put the saddle there, you're not going to see it. It's a very nice back. I think I like how she carries her neck, and she wants to come around, and she does not fall in the shoulder down to the forehand like the first horse did. I think the walk, you can have a lot of choices of stallions. She has a good walk. You don't have to think about the walk too much on the stallion choice. In the trot, I think I want a very supple trot. Maybe that's one of her weak points, I think, so far, is suppleness in the trot.
The first horse to be worked under saddle is an 8-year-old German-bred Oldenburg mare.
Again, I see this rhythm. I love the rhythm. There's the mouthy part. Maybe contact and the mouth as a riding horse is not the best on this horse. I love the activity of the hind leg and the shoulder. It looks good. It looks really good. I think we would all be happy to have a mare like this in the stable as a breeding horse and in some ways a riding horse. She has tension in the tail a little bit, but in general the outline is good. Again, I still see downhill too much. So the biggest thing I see so far in a choice of a stallion for this mare is a shorter back, more uphill, a good walk, and that's the main thing I would look for. Don't judge always just the mare. The product she produces is the most important thing coming out of her that you will get.
In the arena now is an 8-year-old Holsteiner mare. Scott demonstrates how to begin working a horse from the ground.
This is an 8-year-old mare. First impression, 8 years old. We also have to take into consideration this mare is ridden in sport, so she looks more developed. Maybe not quite as feminine as the first two mares. Why do I say that? Oh, sweetie. A little more common in the head, a little thicker in the throat latch. Yeah, this I think is weak. So the first thing I would think is this mare sensitive? How sensitive is she? She's really uncommonly calm right now. Really, really calm. I think she has an alert eye, very friendly. Mike, let's head down this way a little bit more. So again, the general points I see so far, a little more feminine I would like. A little better croup. And what I like is if the hind legs and then the structure of the horse can move up through the body. We talked about some of the weaknesses of the hind leg and the way it was built. I love the canter. I like the attitude to play a little bit. I like the hock. Really, it's coming quick and it's right there and it doesn't have tension. The front leg is very expressive. I can picture a flying change. Boom. You really can show off the changes. Big and really coming up through the body. A canter pirouette. There's really nice free shoulder and front leg in the canter. Again, when we lunge horses and you want to evaluate the trot, you as the person watching, put the horse in the trot you would ride a test with. That speed, that rhythm, that's the trot worth evaluating. Not a trot that's really fast and the legs moving like this. That's tension. The trot is what you can use in the sport. We talked about that this morning. So find the rhythm you want to ride her with, like this. It's nice, Mike. This is how I want to evaluate the trot. So far, I think, a horse with a wonderful canter, wonderful self-carriage, wonderful ability. The hind leg does bother me a little bit. I would like to see a better croup if I'm going to be picky and a better structure on the hind leg. She comes up through the back, I think, pretty well.